They say there's nothing quite like being home for the holidays, and when home is the happiest place on earth. Yes, I'm talking about Disneyland. How much better can it get? Yes, Pugliarvi is about to find that out by the looks of it here. The Edmonton Oilers and the Anaheim Ducks face each other on Saturday, a game of which Patrick from the Oilers Fanatic and me here on Dolly TV will be teaming up to bring you live coverage of throughout the game. But, my friends, pardon me, Pat Verbeek, the general manager of the Anaheim Ducks, has been watching the Oilers last night, will indeed do it again tonight with the Nashville Predators game. So now, what of Jesse Puljujärvi? This is Dolany TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion. I think you already figured that out. Don't worry about it. But yeah, today we get to discuss things here as they pertain to the Oilers, Ducks, and Jesse Puljujärvi. But before we get to that, folks, if you enjoyed tonight's topic, leave a like on the video, and secondary to that, make sure if you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolany TV. I'd be grateful to have you along, and of course when this news breaks, by being subscribed to Dolany TV, you can get my take here on the channel as soon as I get it uploaded. Alright, enough about that, more about Jesse Puljujärvi, let's get to it. So, things. Obviously, we've talked about Puljujärvi in and out all off-season, all preseason, and now so far all season long, right? This is, at some point, it has to come to an end for the Edmonton Oilers and Jesse Puljujärvi. And obviously with the quotes out this past weekend and stuff like that, yeah, you know what? It is pretty much drawing to an end. And a team, I think I'm going to base this just off of what Patrick's told me based on our couple of chats here this week, is simply put, a team that's always had interest in Jesse Puljujärvi is the Anaheim Ducks. Now all of a sudden you factor in that Pat Verbeek, the general manager of the Anaheim Ducks, was at the game against Minnesota last night and is yet again in the building at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. If it's still called Bridgestone, I guess we'll find out on the broadcast tonight. But it's one of those things, right, for the Oilers, is you've all of a sudden got the rival GM. The Ducks are to a degree a division rival. You're going to be playing on Saturday in the building for your game 2 nights in a row on the road. There's obviously something coming together here, right? That's end all be all. And whether it is Jesse Puljujärvi meets the Ducks in Edmonton on Saturday and is part of the team by Friday night and ready to suit up against the Oilers Saturday afternoon, who knows? But I think there is way too much smoke for there not to be fire in this situation. And this, of course, all coming from reporting from Jim Matheson of the Edmonton Sun Journal. I don't know who he actually works for nowadays. I'm a little confused there. But you get where I'm going. Is simply put, he is a long-time journalist within the Edmonton Oilers ranks. So for that to be reported multiple times over back-to-back days is pretty impactful for the Oilers. And obviously, too, I guess I haven't really broken down for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time in a little while as to what's going on with Jesse Puljujärvi. Jesse Puljujärvi, things got worse last week simply because he had an interview with Finnish media. A whole circus was made about it because Jesse Puljujärvi said he might not be an NHL player anymore. And of course, Mark Spector got in on it and absolutely beat him to death in the kind of situation in the media circles, media talks within the Oilers. Just beating him down, absolutely just not making a bad situation better, I guess is what I'm saying. And obviously, there's been a lot of uppity people about this for the past week, and now all of a sudden you add in Pat Verbeek coming to Oilers games for 2 nights in a row in a central U.S. road swing, and it suddenly starts really adding up in weird, funny ways. And this is where I think now for the Oilers, honestly, I have kind of exhausted all kinds of things I can say about what will happen with the Jesse Puljujärvi trade, because simply put, for a Jesse Puljujärvi trade, I mean, every time it seems the Oilers are about to trade this kid, it seems like something happens and the trade value goes down, 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 down. And at this point, I don't think it can be any lower. And I don't have a clue on earth what the Edmonton Oilers are going to be able to get out of a rival general manager in Pat Verbeek. I think it's physically impossible to expect anything, realistically. Here's the thing. It is stupid to assume the Oilers are going to get nothing, but it is physically impossible in my level of expertise on the Oilers, which I would say is very minimal compared to people who spend all day doing this. But in my expertise, I would say like thinking you're going to get anything in return is just impractical, but knowing that you're going to get something in return is, of course, practical. If that makes any sense, right? The return is going to be so minimal. That's what I've braced myself for, that I feel like getting nothing is actually not worst case scenario. Because for the Oilers, if they get nothing in a Jesse Puljujarvi trade, they gain $3 million of cap space. So that's where, realistically, no matter how you cut it, no matter how you put this together for the Oilers in a Ducks trade, is when it comes down to it, the Oilers will get something back, because it will not be a free transaction of $3 million off the top of the salary cap for the Edmonton Oilers. The Anaheim Ducks will make sure of that. That is common sense. That is how the NHL has to work right now. And trust me, stay tuned later today when I have another video about that kind of salary cap discussion here in the NHL and what's happening with the Oilers when it comes to that front. But as it currently stands for the Edmonton Oilers, yes, Puljujarvi is going to be traded for nothing, but that nothing will be something because it has to be, if that makes sense. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to sum up, because it's impractical to assume that you're going to get something, but it's practical to assume that you're going to get something more than nothing, I guess you could say. And I mean, draft picks are even kind of off the table in that kind of scenario, because the Oilers are benefiting $3 million a cap and a draft pick. So I guess realistically, I could go analyze this to death, go down the Ducks roster, say, well, this guy's making 2.625, and I mean, realistically, he's only had 2 points this season, and the Oilers could scoop him up for Jesse Puljujarvi, and we could make that trade work, and the Oilers actually give up a 4th round pick, and it all. We could math that out to days, but guess what? At the end of the day here, I am sorry, too many experts, too many common folk, too many people have beat this topic down to nothing, and there is nothing left to add of value until something actually shakes out between the Edmonton Oilers and Jesse Puljujarvi and the Anaheim Ducks, if it is indeed the Anaheim Ducks. Got it? Good. Great. My friends, enjoy tonight's hockey game. I'm Tyson, this is Stolany TV. One last time, if you enjoyed tonight's video, leave a like on the video. And secondary, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. I didn't hit the 10,000 subscriber thing at the start, but we're less than 500 away from that, so that'd be greatly appreciated if you'd be so kind. Have a great evening. Enjoy the game. Let's go Oilers, and let's hope for a big old W.